How's everybody doing? My name's Mike and we have Mr. Mamba with us today. Good sit, buddy. So we're going to talk a little bit about excited peeing. Okay, heel. Excited peeing. Now, this is very common with a lot of people, with a lot of dogs. A lot of owners have this trouble. Now, if your dog is excited peeing, it's much different than a dog who does not have that issue. You have to act much different. You have to be very relaxed and instill calmness in the dog every step of the way. So if you have a dog that does this behavior, your approach to the dog is super important. And what I mean by that is if you come up on the dog too fast, if you walk too fast up to them, they can be very submissive and also urinate. So excited peeing and submissive peeing, they're actually tied together. They're very close. Submissive peeing is more when you go to clip the leash, the dog urinates because sometimes the presence is just so overwhelming for the dog, and they just let it go when somebody comes too close to them. Especially when it's like the alpha dog, you know, they actually do that in the wild. They let out a little bit of urine to let the other dog know that they are submissive to them. Obviously, we don't want that in our homes. So the way to stop this is you have to use a leash on the dog. First of all, you need to use a crate and a place bed, and the crate and the place bed are going to be the managements for the dog. You also have to leave the leash on the dog so you can it's going to be much easier to grab the leash and the dog not urinate. If the dog starts urinating in the home and is excited peeing, we must keep the excitement down. So we use a leash, sit, we use a leash, and if he doesn't sit, and then I go ahead and give him a little tug so that he sits. Now, when the dog's in a position like this, in the sit position, it's a lot easier for me to say, good boy, good sit. Good job. And since we've taught the dog how to sit, he knows to remain still, and he knows my affection is coming when I say sit and then I say good boy. Just when I say sit, he knows that affection's coming after he's done it. So, you know, he's not excited because he's sitting. He's in more of a submissive state of mind. So if we go to put the leash on the dog and the dog's standing up, they can kind of move around and get excited, and that will trigger it. The more the dog can move around, that will trigger the body to release it. Now, there's also, you know, you want to manage the dog's water too, but for now, let's just talk about approaching the dog. You know, you don't want to make strong eye contact with the dog. That can trigger excitement and submissiveness. Also, you don't want random people going up to your dog, because if you notice, your dog will do it a lot with random people because they get so excited. Now they just start seeing people and start urinating. Now, if your dog does this behavior, you have to tailor what you do at home. You cannot just let the dog run around heel. You cannot just let the dog run around your home with free range. You know, it's a very delicate situation. So coming to and from the home, you don't want to say hi or goodbye to the dog, even if the dog doesn't excited pee. But we want to keep excitement down. Now, you don't want to do any kind of baby talking with them. What happens with a lot of people is they're so soft with dogs, you know, that they just use this baby tone with them, and it's always, oh, it's okay, baby, or oh, baby. It's always this high-pitched tone with the dog, which just gets them excited when you do that, you know. So treats are also not going to be good for the dog. You know, you of course never want to train with treats, period. But if you have a dog that excited pees, the treats are only going to get a dog excited. So we don't want to baby talk the dog. So again, you know, if you go to the vets and you have a dog that excited pees, you're going to want to ask them, hey, don't do this, please, because that's just going to trigger your dog to urinate. So there's many things to go over with excited peeing, and these are just a few. But approaching the dog without strong eye contact, meaning don't look right at the dog when you're approaching them, you know, and you can also stand sideways. Sometimes I've backed up to dogs to approach them in their crate. I back up, open the crate door, and I stand there for about a minute and let them calm down till there's no tail wagging, you know, no excitement, no sign of excitement whatsoever, and then that's when I will start to put the collar and leash on. Otherwise, if you do it too soon while they're excited, they will pee. So the idea is to start breaking that habit, meaning we want them to have less and less excited peeing accidents. And the less you can make it until they start to have none, then the behavior will disappear and your dog can stop that behavior. But with owners that if they just refuse to not be affectionate with the dog at the appropriate time, right? They can't give unearned affection to the dog. That's one of the biggest things, is all this unearned affection gets the dog excited. We need to keep the dog in a calm state at all times. So we're always telling the dog to be calm. With everything we do, we're always letting the dog know we want calmness. If you practice excitement with your dog, like giving unearned affection, if you practice that, letting him run around crazy in the home, free roaming, if you practice excitement with the dog, then you're going to have an excited dog. If we do all these things like obedience training, teaching the dog to heel at our side, how to walk properly, we're instilling calmness in the dog at every moment. So sit. Nope, sit. So by teaching the dog how to sit and how to listen to us, we can start to control the excitement. So we have to obedience train them, heel. And the dog starts getting ramped up at a certain point, right? So the dog's like getting more and more and more excited, and then finally, boom, they explode, they pee, right? So when you see your dog getting excited, of course, if you have them on a place bed, it's much easier to manage because they're on place. But you see them kind of standing up, they're getting excited. We say something to them, hey, we give them a simple correction, and that excitement level goes down. So we see the dog get excited, and then we say, hey, and the excitement level comes down, right? And then we start noticing sooner and sooner when the dog's being excited, and we start correcting the dog at an earlier time, way before the point to where the dog would ever be so excited to actually urinate in the home. So again, guys, these are just a bunch of things to think about if you have a dog that does this behavior. And there's trainers out there who would tell you it cannot be cured, but it can definitely be cured. And this dog right here, Mr. Mamba, was in a pet store his whole life until his owners got him, and he had potty training issues, and he's doing very good on that, which is very surprising to have a dog for 5 months in a pet store going on puppy pee pads, which is a whole nother thing, and for him to already start to understand that I want him to go outside. So, and he's excited peed, I'm sure, the whole time in the pet store, because the workers at the pet store, they're not properly trained on how to raise a puppy. So they're going in the crate or the pen every time they deal with him, and they're just giving him unearned affection. They're at work, they're bored, there's nothing to do. So anytime they take care of him, put food in there or anything like that, or clean his poop up out of there, they're constantly giving affection and actually nurturing the excited peeing, which is terrible. It's detrimental for dogs and owners, and believe it or not, dogs are put down for this kind of stuff all the time. So we don't want to instill that in the dogs. And unfortunately, in places like pet stores and humane societies and lots of rescues, they're not aware that you can get rid of these behaviors, and it's just a matter of teaching obedience the proper way without treats, not letting the dog be excited all the time, and living in a way that's conducive for the dog. So it's a big issue, but it can be solved, it can be cured. You just have to have the experience necessary to give the proper training to the dog.